Welcome back to Life Enrichment with Hank Ballinger. Today we're going to talk about building your teams. Now, as you build wealth, one of the things you're going to have to do at some point is you're going to have to trust other people. You're going to have to trust them to do work. You're going to have to trust them to take care of some of the money issues. You're going to have to trust them to take care of some of the office responsibilities. So you can't do everything yourself. If you want to build a big business, you can't do all the work yourself. Now, many times the reason some people, specifically small business owners like a lawyer or a dentist or somebody of that nature, they're blue collars, a doctor, a lot of times the reason they get to a certain level and they can't build more wealth than that is because they are like Superman. They've got to do it all themselves. Like a dentist, he thinks, well, I've got to do all the work myself. And he does. He can't just let someone who's not qualified work on somebody's teeth, or a neurosurgeon don't just let somebody who doesn't understand the brain work on the brain. So these guys are limited. Now, they can be high income earners, but there is a ceiling because they can only get to a level of wealth as to where as much work as they can do themselves. Once they reach that ceiling, that's all the work they can do. So it's very important that if you're going to build a team so that you can have more time to build other companies or buy more property, do more things that you want to do, you let other people control your business. So you got to have a very responsible team. It's very important as you're building a team that you get the right members. We're going to talk about that. But before we get into that, again, I would like to say thanks for those who watch the channel. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Subscribing to the channel, very important. We really want a lot of subscribers, so hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Share it with others. You know, if you can, encourage people, put it on Facebook. The more people that gets the idea, the more we can help people get out of the rat race. That's the idea. We want a lot of people to become redneck rich. Now, again, redneck rich, you have a level of income from your real estate generally. Generally what I teach is about real estate. So you have a level of income from that real estate that you don't have to go to the job every day. You have a level of income from that real estate that you can live comfortably below your means. Your income's here. Your life spending is here. Your life, how you live is down below that. You never spend more than you make. You live down here, but you have an income, a residual income every month coming in. And now you don't have to go to work every day. But that money keeps coming in every month, month after month. Redneck rich. Now, as you look to build a larger and larger portfolio of real estate, and you're going to try to expand your business, you have to have teams. Very important. Now, for me, let me explain how I built my business. As we started buying more property, I eventually needed a maintenance guy. I got up to about 150 units. I was doing all the maintenance myself, painting. Now, I say myself, me and my wife, my daughter, but we were doing it all ourselves, and we painting, cleaning, fixing, we were doing it. Now, you can do that up to a certain level, but if you're not careful, you're going to be very similar to the doctor or the dentist. You're going to reach a ceiling where you can't do more. And then at that point, you're limited. So you have to start outsourcing it and hiring other people to do your job. So first of all, I hired a maintenance man. Then another one or two. Then we had to have a secretary. Then another one as time went on. So now we have field personnel in our team and office personnel in our team. Then we needed an office manager over the office people and a field manager over the field personnel. Now we have a very good team, really top-notch team. They really do a good job. But like Ronald Reagan said, I love his quote. He said, you surround yourself with good people and then get out of their way. That's very true. As you're going to build wealth and you're going to try to make a company bigger and bigger, you have to get good people surrounded around you. Because if you just hire anybody, they're not going to do a very good job. Unskilled people, people that's not very knowledgeable in that field, you have to have good people. So you may have to pay them what they're worth. Now, you have a team of people that work with you on a day-to-day basis, but then you're also going to have a team of people that you outsource certain things to. Maybe when you look at HVAC, heating and air, or appliances, you may have to outsource that to an appliance company. Those things can get pretty technical. So you may have to have a company that only works on appliances that you call them whenever you have an appliance issue. Electric or plumbing issues. You may have companies that you have to call if you have electrical or plumbing problems. So you call these people. They're part of your team, maybe not the part of your team that you work with on a day-to-day basis, but you work with them periodically. And when those things come up, whether it's a heat and air problem or appliance or electric and plumbing problem, you know, okay, here's the people we're going to call. We trust them, they do a good job, and they're part of our team. Okay, very important that as you look at these teams, you surround yourself with good people, and then you get out of their way. Now, what about specialized teams? Again, lawyers, CPAs, insurance agents, tax planning attorneys, all of these, and there are more. There are more specialized teams that you're going to need, but these are just to name a few. So when you talk about lawyers, people that study the law, now I want to look at a really interesting aspect of lawyers, CPAs, and insurance agents. If you studied law for 10 years and you knew everything that any lawyer in your town knew, but you were a real estate guy, but you knew everything about the law up to date, if you didn't continue to study, you know what they do next year? They change a lot of the laws. So not only do you have to study 8 or 10 years to be a lawyer, but you've got to study on a year-by-year basis to keep up with all the new stuff. And the same with being a CPA or an insurance guy. There is no way that I can build wealth in real estate and keep up with all the laws that change by being a lawyer, all the laws that change for being a CPA, and all the laws and all the technical mumbo-jumbo that changes to be an insurance agent. I can't keep up with even one of those, let alone all three or more. There is no way I can do that. So I have to outsource that to people who know. So again, surround yourself with a good team of these specialized teams, because you're going to need those. And then once you surround yourself with a good team, get out of the way and let them do their job. You're going to have these guys if you're going to build wealth. Very important. Now, I love this one. Build a web, and I call these wealth-empowered builders. Now, when I used to go to a lot of seminars years ago, I would go to a lot of seminars, and one of the things they would say is, before you ever buy a piece of real estate, before you even buy it, know how that you're getting rid of it someday. And I thought, when I first started going, I thought, how in the world are you going to know how you're going to get rid of it, who you're going to sell it to, before you ever buy it? But every time they would talk about it, they would say, make sure you have an exit strategy, is what they called it. Make sure you have an exit strategy before you buy, know how you're getting rid of it. Now, it's very important, when you buy a property, if you buy it correctly, that's when you make money. You realize it when you sell. So you make money when you buy, and you realize that income or that capital gains when you sell. But if you don't buy right, you may never realize a gain. So very important that when you buy right so that when you sell, you can realize that profit. Now here's what's important, and here's why this comes back to your web, this group of people that you surround yourself with, buyers and sellers. Because now what I have done is I have literally taught some, but then I've surrounded myself with others who buy and sell real estate in this area. Now, when I want to buy property, I can go to some of these people that have real estate and I can say, well, do you have anything you would like to sell at the time? They may say, no, not right now, but then maybe a week later they'll call you up and say, you know what, I've been thinking about it. Yeah, I got these 10 units or these 50 units. Yeah, I'll sell those. And then you have an opportunity to buy. Or you may want to sell. And so you may go to around a few of them and say, hey, would you want to buy? Would you want to buy? And eventually one will want to buy the property you want to sell. So by surrounding yourself with a group of people that buy and sell real estate, it makes it easier on all of you to buy and sell real estate. It helps the group. So you have several groups, several people that are wealth-empowered builders. They're going to build wealth and they can work off each other. Like synergy, 2 plus 2 doesn't equal 4, 2 plus 2 may equal 10 or 20 or 100. Synergy, it works very well. So it's very important when I buy a piece of real estate, how am I going to sell that real estate? I have a web. I have a web of people, wealth-empowered builders. They want to build wealth, and now that I've surrounded myself with them, whenever I buy a property, I know that in time I may be able to sell that property to one of these other guys that I've surrounded myself with, or when they want to sell one of their properties, they may come to me and want me to buy the property from them. So it's very important that that's a really good way to have an exit strategy before you ever buy the property. You know I can get rid of that property when I want to sell it. Now, your exit strategy, very important. Now, the law of reciprocity. What is the law of reciprocity? The law of reciprocity states that the more people you help, the more you are helped. Now, we could look at several people. Look at Elon Musk. He helps a lot of people, started a lot of companies, so therefore he's helped a lot. Jeff Bezos, Amazon. He's helped a lot of people. How many people order stuff and get it brought right to your house? Yeah, we're all guilty. How many people like their smartphone? You're probably watching this video on a smartphone. How many people think Steve Wozniak and Steve Jobs because they have that cell phone? Well, if you're watching on a cell phone, generally an iPhone, you need to think Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak. They're the two brains behind that started that company. So we all realize we are helped because of their product, but they've helped a lot of people, so they are helped by all of those people. They've helped a lot, they get helped a lot. The law of reciprocity. Now, if you're going to build teams, some that you're going to work with every day, some that you outsource to, specialized teams that you want to buy and sell to, they can buy and sell to you. You need to know how to motivate those teams. Now, the first law of motivation, any motivational speaker you ever listen to is going to tell you this. You cannot motivate someone else unless you are motivated. It's an impossibility. You might try, but they're going to sense that you're not really motivated. You know, if you tell somebody, well, you really could do this, and you tell it like that, you're not very motivated. They're not going to be motivated. You need to be excited. If you're going to be motivated and you're wanting to motivate others, you can do that, but you have to push that idea through your voice, your actions. You have, in order to motivate others, in order to motivate these teams, you have to be motivated. Now, some people can be self-motivated. They just do the things they need to do. They do them with a lot of vigor and they're ready to go. Other people, it's kind of like need somebody to push them all the time. Odd, but some people are just self-motivated. Others aren't. Be respectful. If you want a good team, you have to be respectful of that team. You can't look down your nose at them or think that they're less than you. Remember, it's a team. Everybody has their job. It has their own responsibility. None is better than the other. Like Paul says in the Bible, 1 Corinthians 12, can the eye say, I don't need the foot? Or can one body member say, well, I'm not as good as this one? No, the whole body works together to perform the function of the whole body. Just like your team. No one member is more important, but no one member is less important. Everybody does their job and the team functions well. Be respectful. Again, surround yourself with good team members. Very important. Now, you may have to hire somebody and then let them go. Maybe they don't work out. Maybe they just, for some reason, don't like the situation. Maybe they just quit. So you may have to hire several people before you get a good nucleus of a good team. Now, one guy, Patrick Bet-David, you may see him on some YouTube channels. If you don't, he's got some really good videos out. He says a lot of times, he says, you hire slowly and you fire quickly. So you take time and you try to make sure you get really good workers. But if they don't work out, fire quickly. Now, you're not trying to be mean. You're just saying, hey, this is not working out good for our team. And rather than keep bogging the team down, we're going to let you go. And then that way the whole team can move on and we're all going to try to go in the same direction. Now, you must be well defined and clear in your intentions and in your goals. A team can't do very well if you don't have a goal. A basketball team wants to score more points than the other team. Same with football or baseball. But they all have specific goals. Now, a pitcher may have a different goal than a catcher. Or a guard may have a different goal than a center on a basketball team. So everybody may have different defined goals, but for a whole team, all of those goals work together to win the game. Same with your teams. They've all got to be well defined. The secretaries need to know what the secretaries are doing. The field workers need to know what they're doing. The specialized groups need to know what they're doing. The people you call on a periodic base needs to know when this person calls, I go over, I do this level of work, and they pay me. Everybody's on the same team. Well-defined goals, very important. Realize everybody is a team member. Nobody's any better than anybody else. Everybody's on the same team to accomplish the same goal. Now, the last one we want to talk about today, and I think this one is very important. In meetings, generally the way I do it is when I'm talking with our field manager and our office manager, rather than go in and just dictate, well, here's what we're going to do, here's what we're going to do. Generally the way I do it is I go in and I say, okay, what's happening over here with this? How are we cleaning these rooms? How are we cleaning these apartments? What's the process? And then they tell me. I say, okay, is that the best way we can do that, or is there something else we can do? And then they will tell me. And they came up with the idea, so they're more apt to do it. Really good guys, okay? Real super guys. And most of the time, and again, I'm not out in the field. I'm not in the office every day. They are. They know what's going on. So the best thing I can do is not act like I know what's going on in the field or not act like I know what's going on in the office, because they know more than I do. Now, we do pay them for that, but if I don't know more than they do, why would I think I can go into a meeting and dictate what they need to do? I need to go into that meeting and ask questions. You tell me what's going on, and then we will collectively come up with the best plan of action as to how to solve the problems or to best run either the office or the field personnel. See, you ask questions, you work together. I don't know more than they do. Now, one guy once said about a team, he said, if you're the smartest person on your team, you've got to realize your team can never be any better than you are. Don't always think you're the smartest person in the room, okay? You've got to realize, surround yourself with a good team, a good group of people, and then get out of their way. Now, if you want to have a good team, build a good team, there are lots of videos on YouTube, lots of social media out there that probably teach on a lot of steps you can go through to build a good team. And if you're going to buy a lot of real estate, you're going to have a good team. You may have to hire some and then fire some. That's just the way it goes generally. But you can have that good team. It just takes a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of working together. You can do it. You can be redneck rich. See you on the next video.